Do you consider your body positioning when you are considering humility? Psalm 41:1, blessed is he who considereth the poor. Matthew 5:3, blessed are the poor in spirit. Yesterday, we talked about how positioning is at the center, or we put ourselves in the center of pride. Positioning is the placing of the self in the center. What if we have not just a position of humility, but a posture of humility, where we could say there is both a position, we do not put ourselves in the center, and a posture to humility. I'd like for you to think with me about Philippians 2, who being in the very form of God thought it not robbery to be equal with God, but humbled himself and became. There is a becoming to the poor, the poverty of spirit. I imagine this is part of the fascination on the Last Supper event, the last Passover of Jesus' earthly ministry, when he washed his disciples' feet. You know, if you come to my house and I wash your feet, it's nice, but it's not the same power, I would say, as the impact of the King of the universe positioning himself, not in the center, but posturing himself as the person who does the menial task of washing feet. The reason I think this is people needed their feet washed. It's a common practice to wash feet. In Burkina Faso, often when I enter an office or a home, they have a bucket there and they offer to wash your hands. Well, probably in the past, when the guys like me didn't have shoes and socks, undoubtedly they offered to wash the feet as well. This is a normal part, I think, of the life of people in Jesus' times. What was, I think, unique about it, at least at this glance I'm taking today, is that the king, who would often be positioned in the center on a throne, was posturing himself at the feet of people. I think when the woman was caught in the act of adultery, Jesus, he may have bent down. I don't remember the exact wording there, but he wrote in the sand. He took a posture not of a judge. He took a posture of communicating something in writing. When you think of people that should bow to him, he just humbly continued to walk by. I'm calling this Fast Friday on a Psalm for today because I have to get to an appointment right away. However, I want you to remember, I want you to remind me that there is both the positioning of pride and the posturing of humility. When you go into a room, do you sit in the position of leadership or power or whatever, or do you take a position that shows humility? Do you take a posture of humility? This is how I was taught to pray. I was taught that the posture of prayer, it includes at least the closing of your eyes. But I don't remember my parents ever say, okay, we're going to pray, just close your eyes. They would say, close your eyes and bow your head. They were teaching me from my earliest days a posture of humility before the God of glory. There's no Bible verse that I know of that says you have to have your eyes closed when you pray. But my parents were teaching me a posture of head bowed and eyes closed. And then my parents would also, on Sunday night especially, say, it's altar time. We want you to learn to come down here and kneel. Or let's use the word kneel. To kneel, get on your knees and kneel. And so we would go to the altar and we would kneel. Then when you're kneeling, you can also then bow. A bow is different. You'll see that in some Asian cultures, either the bowing of the head or even the bowing of the shoulders. And the higher they perceive your social location to be, the farther they bow. It's my understanding that if you meet some kings on the planet, you crawl into their space. The point being, there is a position to pride and a position to humility. There is a posture to pride and a posture to humility. And so I would encourage you this weekend, look for natural inclinations to take the right position and the right posture, and maybe even natural inclinations to take the wrong position and the wrong posture. Now, I shouldn't get on me driving in Phoenix. I drive just fine in Phoenix, but I don't have the posture in my heart of like, oh, go ahead and cut me off, no problem. This guy the other day cut off in front of me. I'm pretty sure there wasn't even 18 inches between his car and my car, and we were going about 65, the speed limit on the freeway. I was going 65. He was going faster and wanted to go 3 lanes over, but none of us knew what he wanted to do. Anyways, there's a position and there's a posture. And when we see key stories of the Bible, of Jesus' life, we see him taking a posture of humility. Let's do so this week.